people can do things to you. Things you don't even know about.
I saw the play Bug about a year ago in New York. It had been running for 6 or 7 months. I think it ultimately ran much longer than that. And something compelled me to go back and see it again. And the second time I saw it, I thought, this is really a unique and an unusual story. It's about paranoia, and it raises questions and provides very few answers. But I found that I didn't know where this was going. I had no idea what the next scene would be, what the next movement would be, and that always grabs me, no matter what.
Hello?
The guy who wrote the play, Tracy Letts, he adapted it for the screen. It's very close, obviously, to the play, but it is a self-standing screenplay, and it's another look at this material.
Bug is about a lonely, wounded woman named Agnes, who I play, who lives in a pretty crappy, shabby, sad motel by herself, having lost her child, and who meets a guy through her one and only friend in the world. And she brings this guy around, and we end up having this very intense, very meaningful relationship.
I'd like to see you again.
How do you mean?
I mean, see you again, what I said.
I've always thought that Bug was a love story. It's a love story between two intensely damaged individuals. But it's not called Love Story, it's called Bug, so it's probably about some other things too, namely bugs.
What are you looking at? Bug. Excuse me.
It's about these people who are in very close quarters, who come to the belief that they are infested by these bugs, which nobody is really able to see but them.
There, right there, Agnes, it's right there.
It deals with paranoia, which infects all of us. We all have a paranoid sensibility to some extent, especially now with terrorism. And in many ways, this is the story of a guy who could be a terrorist, you know, who's sort of hiding in a small motel in the middle of Oklahoma, which is where it's set. But all of the characters are infected with this paranoia.
Hey, maybe we got us a little bug problem here.
My agent, my longtime one and only agent, called me and she said, you know, I have something to send you and it's pretty dark. And I hadn't worked in almost 2 years. I've been traveling all over the world with youth aids and reproductive health stuff with girls and women and human trafficking and going to brothels and stuff like that, which has been really intense, but it's what I wanted to do. And it was different. The quality of the material was extraordinary.
Ashley Judd is a great actress, a very beautiful woman. We try not to emphasize that in the film, but what I was drawn to was not only her Southern roots, which works for this character very well, but she's just a really fine actress. And this is a great piece of material for her.
That thing, I'll dig it out and show you.
There was nothing about Bug that didn't excite me. I met Billy socially years ago at a film festival, and I liked him a lot then. I didn't realize that he hadn't directed French Connection 2 and complimented him about a scene in it I loved, and he was very gracious, and I found that to be consistent with my experience with him in the movie.
Hello, Peter.
It's a challenge. It's different from the kind of roles that she became known for. So she wants to stretch, and I was very interested in working with her to stretch as an actress.
It is so wonderful to creatively have the opportunity just to let everything go.
What?
Anything else?
No, if you know something about my son, you have to tell me. No, shoo.
When I read the play, it's an actor's dream. It has every challenge, it has every opportunity, it has every blessing. You have a lonely character living in a lonely motel, and you get the opportunity to really flesh out that kind of life for yourself with an experienced director and an astute, intuitive crew There was parts of making Bug that were like renegade filmmaking, but it was always done with tremendous efficiency. It was just a remarkable experience.
Michael Shannon plays Peter. He did the play for, I think, any number of years in various parts of the world. And I just think he's a totally unique actor. There were many stars that wanted to play this part, that wanted to buy this material for themselves. But I held out for Michael Shannon because what he brings to this, I've never seen before.
Tell him nothing that would get you into
Just tell
anything.
me exactly what you told him.
Just-
Exactly.
I'm very fortunate that Billy believed in me and brought me along. It would have really been hard to watch somebody else do it. I just love this story so much. It's such a huge part of my life. I've been involved with it for such a long time. It's a great opportunity.
You know, you remind me of somebody.
I actually cast Harry Connick, it was by accident. I went to the opening of a hotel in Las Vegas, and he was sitting right across from me, and he started putting me on in a way that reminded me of Goss. And he said to me, I'd love to work with you someday. And so I called him and I said, you said you wanted to work with me in something. What are you doing in July? He said, whatever you want me to be doing. He's a great guy and gives a very unexpected performance.
Billy Friedkin is an amazing guy. As I get to know him, he seems to be full of surprises, you know? He's very youthful, extremely intelligent, extremely knowledgeable, but I think he gets a kick out of throwing you off of your game. He likes to approach you in a way that you don't expect, if for no other reason than to have you do the scene in a way that you didn't think you were going to do it. And I happen to like that. I think that comes from being a jazz musician where you really don't know where it's going to go. It's a journey into the unknown. I'll be around.
I really wanted to be a part of Bug because, well, first of all, it's a play that, you know, is very popular off Broadway and in London, and I'm big theater advocates. So being a part of it in that way was really exciting. But also, it's such a gutsy piece of material, and it's, you know, for me, very challenging because I haven't really played a role like this.
There are no bugs in this microscope. There's no bugs on your skin, in your skin.
Lynn Collins comes from a classical theater background, but she's really beautiful and sexy. So that's a unique combination.
Millions.
Billy Friedkin brings a unique style. He brings a very commanding force. Even from the day they had rehearsals, he has control of the set. There's a respect level there because of who he is. There's a respect level there from the actors because of the type of artist he is as a filmmaker, and the crew respects that. I mean, there is absolute quiet on this set when Billy Friedkin steps onto the set.
Slate. Well, most of the film is in a motel, and there's about 3 little rooms in it, but for all intents and purposes, most of the film is in this one very claustrophobic set. And that's also a challenge that I love.
We shot the entire script in order, and Billy went through the entire script and basically drew frame by frame the movie as he saw it. And so Billy had to figure out how to create organic cuts so that he could move the camera.
And you have to find different ways of shooting it, maintain the tension, maintain the distances and the closeness of people, but not have the same setups or shots. You got to come up with a variety of ways to look at each scene and each character.
I've never really done a film that took place in such a small environment. And I really like it, you know, because it takes away any sort of variables that you might have just from an environment point of view, and it leaves you with basically nothing but the emotion and the heart and the dialogue of what you have.
The most fun for me is talking to the actors about what I have in mind and then watching them do it, seeing how they translate this script and my ideas through their own talents into something that's flesh and blood and original.
Billy would show us what he was thinking, and then he would say, I'm gonna go away, call me when you're ready. And we did what we wanted to do.
Do you know that he doesn't say action? He basically allows you to start when you want to start.
And he works incredibly fast. I think the most takes I've had is 4, and the last time, like, you have to beg for a second one if he thinks you've nailed it already.
Listen! If you want to know what is going on, you have to listen to me.
I've listened.
You have to.
I'm sure it'll polarize some people and they'll just totally not get it and wonder if they can go get their money back, and other people will be very moved and provoked by it. I mean, ultimately, I would like for people to be touched, ideally.
I am the super mother bug!
I would hope that, despite the darkness that's in the movie, that, I know this is going to sound really twisted, but that it would inspire people to take care of one another.
I think audiences are going to see a very interesting, bizarre, twisted, and not a happy story. I mean, this is not a family show.
Gone out to San Diego like
I think it's unexpected. You have to pay attention, but I think it is a comedy, very sexy, and it's savagely violent. You can't just lay back and expect the movie to just come at you. You have to get involved in it.
If you're a part of this,
There's no bugs on your skin. Why can't you just leave me with one thing?
I know who I am.
You're being watched. I don't believe my presence here is accidental.
Mercedes! Mercedes!
Oh my God, Peter!